Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome inside the Hyannis Youth Community Center in Hyannis, Massachusetts for this Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week, live on Twitch via Twitter. This is the final regular season game of the 2019-2020 edition of the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week. It is Barnstable versus Weymouth, and this is the consolation game of the Coach Melchiono Showdown. Barnstable is looking to end the regular season and head on into the MIAA playoffs on a high note. Unfortunately for the Red Raiders, things have not gone their way really since the beginning of February. They started off the very beginning of the month okay, but all right, well, so let's step after the first couple of games they played. Let's just go to February 1st. They beat Coyle Cassidy 5-0, but then they lost to Canton 3-1. They were 4-2 winners against Nauset. Surprising score there. Nauset struggled this season, but Barnstable was only able to get them late in that game. It was still tied. Then they lost to Falmouth 4-2 in the rivalry game. Lost to Burlington 4-1, and head coach Tim Grace wasn't happy about yesterday's game against Marshfield. That was a 6-0 falling, a rematch between a couple of teams that played a much tighter game the first time around. And so Barnstable hoping to salvage things here in this championship game, or in this consolation game of this tournament that they are hosting here at the HYCC, versus a Weymouth team that's just missed the cutoff. And you look at the Division 3 South, and you see that Weymouth is a record of 6-11-2. Just got eliminated a little bit ago against number 1 ranked Arlington. Tough end of the season schedule for Weymouth as they tried to claw their way in. Barnstable doesn't have to worry about that. They are 10-7-2, and they could possibly face one of the teams at some point here in the playoffs that'll be in the championship game. Everybody here in the tournament in the Section 1 South. Sounds like the starting lineups are being announced, so I'm going to pause and allow you to listen in on that.
We are pleased to welcome you this afternoon from the Hyannis Youth and Community Center, the home of the Barnstable Red Raiders, which sportsmanship is one of the primary goals of interscholastic athletic programs. Our student athletes recognize that judgment calls are made in good faith and that they must abide by the decisions of the officials. Spectators can support their interscholastic program by refraining from derogatory remarks or cheers. We hope that you will enjoy the game and that you will support all the participants in a positive, sportsmanlike manner. Now, here are this afternoon's starting lineups. For the Weymouth Wildcats, at defense, number 4, Marco Padilla. At defense, number 10, William Duff. At left wing, number 23, Pat McGowan. At center, number 7, Declan Tierney. At right wing, number 3, Paul McNick. And in goal this afternoon, number 30, Will Hughes. And the rest of the Weymouth Wildcats hockey team. Weymouth is coached by Pastor Kennedy, assisted by Kentucky Ryan. And now for your Barnstable Red Raiders, at left defense, number 12, Will Cogswell. At right defense, number 15, Cooper Muriel. At left wing, your captain, number 23, Brian. At center, number 27, Jack Longfield. At right wing, number 14, Chris Ferdinand. And between the pipes this afternoon, your goalie, number 35, Connor Higgins. And the rest of your Barnstable Red Raider hockey team. Barnstable coached by Tim Grace, assisted by Kyle Failing and Nick John. Now, would everyone please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem?
Okay, doke, the starting lineups have been announced, and let's just give you the starting goaltenders one more time. For the Barnstable Red Raiders, it's going to be number 35, Connor Higgins, in net. For the Wildcats of Weymouth, they're going to have Will Padula in net. And the next one coming up after this one is going to be the championship game of the Smelkioto tournament. It will be Marshfield against Franklin. And Franklin beating Weymouth yesterday by a 4-0 score to put Weymouth in the championship consolation game. And I'll get those straight at some point. This is, I'll just get the excuse out of the way. This is my 9th game in 8 days. I got an off day tomorrow. I had one, and then that off day got taken up by another hockey game. So if I forget how to say words sometimes, that's my excuse. Weymouth is the road team in this one, both for tournament purposes and then for all intents and purposes. Barnstable's the home team here. And they have just scored on the first shift. The setup for Pat McGowan. 17 seconds in. Pat McGowan buries it on the good feed. Weymouth up 1-0. Well, I was in the process of telling you Weymouth's jerseys. That's the normal fare of how a game starts. Standard fare is what the phrasing is. They've got the like black jerseys with mostly maroon and yellow trim on the waists. And they've got maroon pants as well, yellow helmets. An interesting look with the yellow Wildcats in text diagonally from top left to bottom right across their jerseys. Barnstable with the Barnstable word mark across in red, with the white jerseys, red pants, red helmets, and red trimming throughout. But more importantly than fashion is the fact that Barnstable, looking to get off to a good start in this one, has done the opposite of that, as Pat McGowan with the score. Weymouth, they're playing for pride, and there's nothing wrong with that. And as I've said several times on the air now, as we've gotten closer to the end of the regular season, obviously these teams want to make the MIAA, but there's only, well, I guess you wouldn't say there's only so many spots. You make your own spot if you finish 500 or better. But not every team can make it. And the next best thing you ask for is to at least be competitive until the end of the regular season. Weymouth may not be competing for a playoff spot, but these guys have still got the competitive juices going, and they want to have a good showing here against Barnstable. We're right here at center ice at the Kennedy rink of the Hyannis Youth Community Center for an afternoon game. Selection Saturday. Every team will find out where they are. Barnstable is likely to be opening up the Division I South at Gallo Arena. They'll see Marshfield in this Division I Section 1 South. They'll see Franklin. 3 of the 4 teams in this tournament will be going to the MIAA. How it's all going to shake out, exactly who plays who in the first round, we'll see. And this is going to be played from the far side by Joe Longeal. I'm sorry. Yep, that's right. Joe Longeal. It was played by him. Further on now, Weymouth will work to get this out. Was stopped behind the net by Padula, the goaltender. And the pass out intended for Kevin Monahan at the near point. Didn't work out for him. Higgins, the goaltender, played it for Barnstable. Now it's Brian Fry across the Weymouth line. He'll shoot and he'll miss. Maybe a stick in there. And then a follow-up chance almost went for Jack Longeal. Another try, Kevin Monahan. And a save is made by Kenny Padula. We are early here in the first period. The Weymouth Panthers, Wildcats, that's another cat. The Wildcats scoring on their first shift. This is a rainbow puck in on Padula, and he knocks it away. Puck out the center. He'll be jammed back in. And now, man right on Marco Padula. He got rid of it. Played along the far side. Weymouth gets it out into neutral ice. There are many, many types of cats that teams decide to name themselves after. Got to get them straight. Puck in the Barnstable zone, right around to the far side. Man pinches on the boards there is Liam Duff for Weymouth. Now goes around to the near side, and there's a big collision involving Marco Padula as well as Will Jones. Barnstable just needs some momentum to get into the postseason. The win here today, I think, will certainly do that, snap a 3-game losing streak. And Barnstable's going to go on the power play here. A big hit by Marco Padula on Colby Pearsall. Pearsall's back up. First power play of the game for Barnstable. Exactly 4 minutes in to the first. It's just a 2-minute minor for Padula. And Barnstable with the face-off win. On the near side, half boards. Man, it's contested and he's able to work it out. Brian Fry, the quick pass to the left circle in front, didn't connect cleanly. They're going to try this again. This is going to go off the stick of Chris Cordero. Cordero draws a man in, dances. Puck is in sticks and skates. Cordero, Andrew Foley tried to check him, couldn't. And the puck continues to move. Now it's into the near circle for the shot taken by Will Martone, and the save is made by the goaltender, Will Padula. From downtown, Brian Fry shot. Padula's save. And now it's Cordero behind the net. He'll pass out for Will Martone, and out up top for Brian Fry to the left circle. Shot by Dylan Huntington was blocked. Huntington's got it in the slot, moving to the near side, shoots one into traffic, and it goes on through. Now Brian Fry on the far side. Power play's halfway over. Chris Cordero passes out in front. Brian Fry with the reach, and that keeps things alive, but then Dylan Huntington couldn't get to it. Weymouth couldn't clear. Here comes a shot by Martone. It's blocked. And finally, Weymouth is going to get it out of their zone. Matt Flaherty got the job done. Cordero's back in for Barnstable. Cordero holding on to the puck, shooting in the right circle. He scores! That's a power play goal for Barnstable, and Chris Cordero with the good shot that goes up high on Padula, and we're tied at 1. Well, you give Chris Cordero that kind of space, you're asking for trouble if you're Weymouth, and Cordero looked good on that whole power play. And that seems to have galvanized Barnstable a little bit. But all of a sudden, as I say that, turns into a 2-on-2 for Weymouth. Man's going to move in, get by, and shoot. And he scores! Jack Doyle. The shift after Barnstable scores to tie it at 1. Jack Doyle on the 2-on-2 blew by the man that was on the assignment for him and wristed one low and hard. That gets through Connor Higgins. And Weymouth doesn't spend a lot of time back tied. They're back up 2-1. Pat McGowan with the first goal. Jack Doyle now with the second one for Weymouth. Sandwiched in between a goal for Barnstable from Cordero. And we've had 3 goals scored here. Now maybe Barnstable will get another. No, the pad save made, and another one. 2 on Joe Longeal. Wide open action here to start this one. Down to 8.5 minutes in the first. Now in his own zone, it's Braden Cunningham. And just played along, and now it's going to be gotten back by Barnstable. Chris Cordero is going to travel below the goal line, and he backhanded it out in front. Bounced off player. Barnstable regains possession. Dylan Huntington played it out in front. Wound up deflecting to the man at the left point, Will Martone, who plays it back deep. Dylan Huntington on it near side. Huntington to the near half wall, snatched it to the corner, hoping for support from a Red Raider down there. Weymouth's trying to work it out. It's played out in front. It's going to be shot on goal from Colby Pearsall, and the save was made by Will Padula. And we got the whistle on the stoppage with 7:46 remaining in the first. Time to tell you about our sponsorship for this game. Carpet Barn, Carpet One, Floor and Home. One store for your perfect floor with 3 convenient locations in Falmouth, Mashpee, and Hyannis. Your source for carpet, luxury vinyl, hardwood, tile, laminate, and more. Visit Carpet Barn, carpet1falmouth.com for more details, or call 508-296-8189. Look out here. Another one for Weymouth. It's going to be a backhand right in front by Mike Sweet. And the save was made by Connor Higgins. He got the glove out. This is going to be a shot that deflects. One was taken by Kevin Coyle. And the deflection in front would not go. Got to imagine Kevin Coyle's, he's from Weymouth. Charlie Coyle's from Weymouth, NHL Bruins. I didn't ask specifically. I'm going to find out that info at some point here. Got to imagine there's a connection there. There's another Coyle, and Kevin Coyle plays for the South Shore Kings. He has for the USPHL organization, and there's been another Coyle that this season has played for that organization as well. So the Coyles, and that one is definitely related to Charlie. And let me know on the Twitch chat if anybody wants to know. Let me know now. Save me the journey back down low in this rink to find out. Just trying to avoid exercise. What a spin move here. And still controlling and backhanding it off the outside of the post was Joe Longeal for Barnstable. It will go along the near side boards for a shot. Taken, save, rebound. Barnstable couldn't control that one. Will Cogswell started the trouble there. And it is going to be Weymouth getting it out. We're down to 6:15 at the time of the tone remaining. And I thought that one touched the stick of Connor Higgins. Apparently not, as it went all the way down in the Barnstable zone. 6:12 at the time of the whistle. And And face-off's going to come up here in the Wildcat zone. (2-1) Weymouth leads. They scored the first goal less than 15 seconds in. Barnstable got a power play goal middle stages of the first here, and then Weymouth promptly tied it after that. And then man tries to split the D there, Paul McNiff, but Kevin Monahan as well as Sam Howell were able to finally sandwich him off of the puck. Now in neutral and crossing the offensive blue line, Joe Longiel passing it out in front. Man's going to cut to the forehand. It's Brian Fry, and the save was made by Will Padula. Now it's played out to the left point. Bomb blocked fearlessly by Paul McNiff. And McNiff's just going to send it into the Barnstable zone. And it'll go all the way deep. And he'll... Actually, this will be Pat McGowan on the forecheck. And Barnstable has this player on it behind, but losing it is Kevin Monahan. Monahan gets pushed down rudely by Jack Doyle. Right along to the far side, and it's going to go into the Barnstable bench. Trying to play it deep there was Braden Cunningham, but yeah, the Barnstable defender there, Colby Pearsall, on things. 5:12 remaining in the first period. Got a couple broadcasts on this one today. The Weymouth, I believe there's somebody here for Weymouth today. We got both sides. Big contact on the far side. You just saw a moment ago. Now Barnstable's going to play this in to Weymouth ice, and it's going to be pushed out to the point by Chris Cordero. Returned to him by Will Martone. Here's Cordero. He's got the Barnstable goal. Cordero holding on. Man fell off him. He'll get it out to the right point. Shot, save, and then pushed wide by Cordero after that shot came in from the point. From number 16 for Barnstable. I don't think I have that number on here. It's going to go now for Dylan Huntington. Deflected after being passed by Cordero through the stick filter of Colby Pearsall. This shot comes in, and the save is made by Will Padula. Barnstable wins this face-off in the offensive zone. Don't worry about the audio cutting out. This is going to be one of those days. The music comes in clear at the HYCC here, so I got to turn it off occasionally to avoid Twitch copyright problems. Just during whistles, when the music is playing. That's going to go off the glass on the wrister from number 22 for Weymouth. I don't know if I have him. Oh, he's Kenny Padula. It was off a glass. Nothing happening there for Weymouth, but the Wildcats are going to bring us back in here. Shallow finally twisted from the blue line area by Matt Flaherty. But it is going to be gotten back out to neutral ice. Now Barnstable will have this skater dump it in from neutral. That's Brian Fry. He's heading off for the change. Padula, the goaltender, settled it. Barnstable gets control here in the offensive zone. It is intended for Dylan Huntington, who has to do work here, and now pursuing on the end boards. Some kicking happening. It's going to be right there on the goal line for Chris Cordero, and the skate save made by Padula. Behind that, Huntington. No pass. Goes off the back of the net. Chris Cordero is on this. Cordero pursuing near side. Lets it go back for a shot. And that was blocked in the slot, taken by Cooper O'Neill. Blocking it, though, was Cunningham for Weymouth. Less than 3 minutes now to go in the first. Barnstable's pushing here in the offensive zone late in this opening period. And back and forth, turnover. Eventually, Huntington has it. Cuts, forehand shot. Glove save is made by Will Padula. And that brings us down to 2 minutes, 44 seconds of this first period. Not going to be on the air for the next one, the championship game of the Melchiono tournament, and that is again between Marshfield and Franklin. And good luck to those two teams. Shot in. From the point, and then looked like deflected in front, and the first one to the bench for Barnstable is going to be Jack Longeal. Right off the face-off. Strange-looking goal. But Barnstable gets the game tied on that face-off win and subsequent shot and score. I guess we're going to give this to Longeal. Jack Longeal is the assumption here. Let's wait for the official call. And hustle through center, Joe Longeal. He'll pass, and it is pushed wide by him after the support from Jack Longeal. Officially the goal, Jack Longeal. Sam Howell, Will Martone picking up the assists. "100 seconds remaining in the first period. Played out to center. Now into the Weymouth zone. Hooked around a little choking up the stick there from Andrew Foley, it looked like. Finished out by Paul McNiff. Hammered back into Weymouth ice by the Barnstable players who... The one player is heading off along with others for change. 1:10 to go in the first. Now Chris Cordero gets it out of his zone. He'll catch this puck into from Braden Cunningham for Weymouth. Turning at his own blue line and playing it deep into the Weymouth zone is Cordero. Chris Cordero couldn't shoot it. Got a stick in there. Cordero pursuit to the near half wall. And shoveled along and then gotten out of there by Andrew Foley. Now this is Paul McNiff. He'll shoot. And that one is guided out of play by Connor Higgins with 33.8 seconds left in the first period. Cordero in his own zone as we're back to action off the face-off in the Barnstable end. Gets it out of the zone for the Red Raiders. Brian Fry. Fry's played out in front. Oh, goes in! That's going to go for Fry. I'm about 99.9% sure. There was a Barnstable player there, but Fry trying to just put it out in front. Wound up going off, I think, the goaltender, Will Padula. And with 16.1 seconds remaining here in the first, the Red Raiders have their first lead. Well, they say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Some have said that, I guess. It's a popular phrase. And that's that is, I think, applicable for Barnstable in this first. The super early goal, but they surrendered, and then they get one of their own in the late stages of the first. And just 3 seconds and less now as the puck goes to the far side of the Weymouth zone, and the buzzer sounds, and we are through the first period. It is 3-2 Barnstable leading Weymouth. Goals in that first period for the Red Raiders from Chris Cordero, as well as Jack Longeal and Brian Fry. Goals for Weymouth coming from Pat McGowan and Jack Doyle. We'll take a break. This is the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week on via Twitter. Welcome back to the Hyannis Youth Community Center, the Kennedy Rink. Barnstable High School over Weymouth High by a 3-2 score. 5 goals scored in the first 15 minutes of play. Weymouth got the early goal in the first shift, less than 15 seconds in, on a tally from number 23, Pat McGowan. And then Barnstable got the game tied on a goal from Chris Cordero. Then Weymouth on the next shift responded with a goal from Jack Doyle. Then Barnstable tied it on a face-off win and a goal from Jack Longeal. Ryan Fry in the last minute of play in the first period was able to give the Red Raiders their first lead of the game. A little drive-by to the net and just put it out in front from the goal line area. And never a bad idea for putting the puck on net. No matter what angle, you never know when it's going to go in, and that's exactly what happened for Brian Fry. Taking a look at the scoreboard, I got one for you, and that's a 1-1 tie between Mashpee, Monomoy, and East Bridgewater. That game went into overtime. That was the game here at the Kennedy Rink before this one. And kind of a head-scratcher there about why that one. And I know that we've been talking about the MIAA, about maybe expanding overtime and experimenting with it. And I'm a little confused about exactly what the protocol has been this season, about who gets overtime and under what circumstances outside of tournament play, which you can understand you need a winner. And obviously, these tournaments, they get played regular season, go down as ties, but still deciding a winner. But it'd be really, I think, good if we're going to go forward with this, that we kind of do this on a uniform level. And let's make the decision. You know, let's either do it or not do it. As far as overtime is concerned, just my personal opinion. This is just my personal opinion. I don't see anything wrong, and I know these kids, they're just kids at the end of the day, and they're used to playing 45 minutes, and you start factoring in overtime. That's another extra 5 minutes. That'll add up. I don't know how much of a factor that necessarily is, or if there are other things at play. My assumption is that it has to do with that, in terms of why we're only just now starting to put those overtime experiments in. But I don't think. I mean, again, I'm playing devil's advocate there. It is my personal opinion. I don't think the extra 5 minutes of overtime is necessarily going to be all that detrimental. But I guess that's not really a decision for me to make. Anyway, Mashpee Monomoy, they're going to miss out on the MIAA this season, and at a minimum, they finish off the regular season with a point out of that 1-1 tie against East Bridgewater. Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week will be at Gallo Arena in Bourne. It really sounds like that's going to be continuing to be my home away from home, as I wouldn't have any problem if every single Cape and Islands team that's in goes there. This is a shot off the post, and then somehow doesn't go in from the initial shot there from Joe Longeal, and then hanging out in the crease was Jack Longeal. And Jack Longeal, you saw his reaction. He put his hands on his helmet and couldn't believe that he didn't get that in. I'm not exactly sure how that stayed out, but let's just say a big save from Will Padula. And wow, Barnstable with that big chance here in the first minute of the second. No team has had a multi-goal lead in this game. That would have been one for Barnstable. You know, I know another thing, just to add one more thought. I know another thing about, you start putting, if everybody has ties in overtime, so you're talking about a situation, you know, some of these mentioned Gallo Arena. People that know anything about that rink know that that place is all hockey all the time. And that is a situation where you might be talking about backed up ice time if you start adding on those 5 minutes. But like I said, I think we should end the experiment phase and move on to something in a concrete manner. We played about the first minute and a half of this second. Weymouth and Barnstable. Final tune-up of the regular season for the Red Raiders. Looking pretty good in this one. Made the recovery after the early goal surrendered. They've scored 3 of the 4 goals since. Dashed away from trouble area by Andrew Foley for the Wildcats. Now sent back deep by Barnstable's Cooper O'Neill. Now it's going to be passed down front. It's going to go right back. Attempting to pass it there was Nicholas Leone, and the defender for Weymouth wound up putting it right back onto his stick. This is continued to be controlled by Barnstable. Offered from the left point by Will Martone off the glass. Pumped back deep from the right side. Penalties coming up. Cross-checking call. This is on Weymouth. And the penalized player is going to be Braden Cunningham. This is the second power play of the game for the Red Raiders, and they are 1 for 1. And it's a face-off win for Barnstable in the offensive zone. On the power play, Will Martone, shot from the point. Save made, rebound, score. Chris Cordero with the power play goal. That's his second. And Barnstable with the 4-2 lead. They score 12 seconds into the power play. Barnstable's 2 for 2. Dylan Huntington will circle. He'll pass out to neutral. Pass ahead for Chris Cordero. Nice move from Cordero. Slings it out in front. Somehow stays out with the man going to the net there, Pearsall. Pearsall gets pushed. Cogswell. Mess of players down in the near corner of the Weymouth zone. Pearsall double teamed with help peeling off, and Pearsall's going to hold on to this puck. Now out to the right point. Back for Pearsall. He'll twist it down to the corner for Dylan Huntington. Lost it, and it is Luke McDonald. Barnstable keeps us in. Now it's Pearsall. He's got a man coming in, and that's Mike Sweat. But Mike Sweat got the worst of that after he tried to initiate that check. This is domination by this Barnstable line right now. Pearsall, Cordero, and Huntington keeping the puck pinned in for a while. Weymouth would love a change, and they're going to maybe get it. The puck's out to neutral. Let's see what happens here. Barnstable player goes down. A couple number 13s coming together, and I think it's going to be the number 13 for Weymouth that's going to get this call. Indeed. Looks like, I can't tell from the referee's backside, but looks like holding was the call on Brady Sargent. And this is bad news for Weymouth. Barnstable's 2 for 2 on the power play. Chris Cordero on hat trick watch. He's taking this face-off. And it's going to be a credit the face-off win to Weymouth. Barnstable, what are they going to do here? Get this and be able to set up Chris Cordero. Scores! On the pass from Brian Fry. Throw out the hats for Chris Cordero. That's a third power play goal. another power play goal just 12 seconds in. And that makes it 5-2 Barnstable. Weymouth is getting burned hardcore on the penalties they've taken. 3 for 3, Barnstable. Look out, breakaway time. Joe Longiel, and he can't finish. Looks like getting a piece of that there was Will Padula, the Weymouth goaltender. Oh, they give us 2. Oh, it's Chris Cordero. Yep, sorry. Almost psyched myself out there. It happens sometimes. It is sent down the ice. Into the Weymouth zone. Back out from the Wildcats. Uh-oh. Not paying attention there was Pat Dana, and Brian Fry gave him what for? Barnstable, after going down 1-0, has scored 5 of the last 6 goals in this game. Point to point. Funneled deep by Sam Howell. And contact on the far side. And again, Dana involved. Meanwhile, it is a shot from Jack Doyle that misses for Weymouth. And lost track now who that was for Barnstable that put that big hit on. Down into the Weymouth zone. Player in on this for Barnstable is Chris Cordero. Played along near side. Weymouth gets it out. And they're trying to rush ahead, and it turns to a 2-on-1, and that does not crystallize. Brought back in by the Wildcats. Man on the left wing, he'll shoot it in! That's Mike Sweat. Five, 3. Barnstable, its lead is cut to 2. Maybe my audio perception isn't as good as I would like it to be. Heard a lot of hockey whistles over the last few years. It's getting to my hearing, but that sounded like that volume was coming from the Weymouth coach, and you heard it didn't sound pleasant. Unless I'm hearing that wrong, I would think that would be coming from the Barnstable side, but yeah, maybe I'm hearing that wrong. Either way, Barnstable sure didn't like the look of that one. Sorry about that camera. Not a great goal given up by Higgins. But Barnstable's got a comfy cushion. Still the 2-goal lead. Almost going short side there was Pat McGowan for Weymouth. Now it's still comfy, I think you can objectively say, but yeah, this noise has been coming the whole time from the Weymouth coach, Pat Kennedy, this time giving the referee the business. And I can hear what he is. It sounds like he's probably alluding to something Barnstable did that he thought the referee missed. Eight goals scored in this one. We have 7 minutes remaining in the second period. My name is Jim McCabe. This is the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week. Live on Twitch via Twitter. This is going to go in. From Declan Tierney. That one just crossed the goal line. It stayed there right on the other side of the goal line, just barely over. A little surreal there. Tierney with the wraparound backhander. And that just got by Higgins. And then just sat there, and then the goal signal. And, hey, it's a 1-goal game again. Declan Tierney with the goal. 5-4. This has been an interesting game, I would say. This will be set up in front. And the save is made by Higgins on that shot that came in. Got a piece of it with his upper body there. Shot from Ryan Kane. 5-4 the score with less than 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. Ryan Fry gets hit hard on the far side by Jack Doyle. Weymouth is here to play. Now a whistle and a stoppage. We got a penalty coming up, slash. I think this is on Barnstable. The penalized player is Joe Longeal, and that is the first power play of the game now coming up for Weymouth. After the huge hit put on Fry, and he went to the boards, pretty scary looking. That was deemed a legal hit, and then the slash call against Joe Longeal. And now with 6:05 remaining here in the second period. Well, Barnstable's power play has been good. Let's see how their penalty kill looks in this one for the first time we see it. 5-4 they lead. Not so much of a comfy lead now. Pass out. Getting through the circle there, trying to shoot it on net. Unsuccessful was Braden Cunningham. It was blocked. And now puck is down into the Wildcat zone with about 5.5 to go in the second. Barnstable had the 5-2 lead. The last two now have come from Weymouth. Pass in neutral by Braden Cunningham. Now it's cleared. Out by Barnstable. Keep away played from Dylan Huntington. Huntington's still looking for this, and he's going to get it. And it's going to go out in front. And almost that worked as a great pass from Ryan Fry. And in the blind spot from up here. Penalty has just been spotted. We're going to have to wait and see what this is. We're either going to have 4-on-4 or 5-on-3. I don't know who this was on. This is on Weymouth. There goes their power play. The penalized player is Ryan Kane. So we have 4-on-4 now. Barring anything further, Barnstable's going to get an abbreviated power play after this 4-on-4, which will last for 51 seconds. Last two goals scored from Mike Sweat and Declan Tierney for the Weymouth Wildcats. This is carried far side, Jack Doyle. And that one just zips across the goal line. Dylan Huntington for Barnstable the other way, and he is going to rag timeout, and he gets alerted from the Barnstable bench. This is 4-on-4. I don't know if he realized that. Dylan Huntington makes a move, trying to get through a trio of Weymouth players, unsuccessful, but then Weymouth can't clear. It was kept alive at the line by Will Martone and played deep. And here comes a man in for Barnstable, Jack Scipione. First time we're seeing him. Shot from the top of the circle, far side by Will Cogswell. And the save is made by the goaltender, Will Padula. And please let me tell you about our sponsorship for this game. Carpet One. Here comes 10 push-ups. Carpet Barn, Carpet One, Floor and Home. The one store for your perfect floor with 3 convenient locations in Falmouth, Mashpee, and Hyannis. Exclusive carpet brands, including Bigelow Stainmaster, Lee's, Tigressa, Resista, Innovia Extreme Clean, Invincible, Rustic River, Hydrotech, Bell Terra Tile, Laminate for Life, and Voyager Exotic Floors. Now it's a Barnstable power play, but this is taken and skated out to center, and holding on to this, making the move is Mike Sweat, and he'll play the captain for Weymouth. And now it's Barnstable in their own zone, looking to reestablish possession here, and the move made nicely by Scipione. Gotten out the center, and skating on ahead is Chris Cordero. Off the stick of Scipione, that pass, and now it's set in deep by Jack Longeal. Clear attempt initially wouldn't work for Weymouth, but on the second try, yes. Cordero's waiting on the offensive blue line. He gets hit, picked up by Brian Fry, and he'll take it into the corner. Near side, Weymouth zone. Gotten back by the Wildcats, gotten out of the zone. And now just 5 seconds remaining on the power play. Fry will start. He's got wingers on either side. Fry has the stick check from Braden Cunningham, I should say. Out to the far side half boards, and Andrew Foley getting it out of his zone for Weymouth. Andrew Foley got out the center. This is number 41 for Weymouth. I don't have his number. Oh, baby. Kenny Padula just got dumped into the net. As the puck looked like it was going in his vicinity. And that was not called a penalty. The game continues here. We're back to even strength. 2.5 minutes, less than that remaining here in the second. Dylan Huntington has a man on him who is able to get it back. And then the errant pass from the Weymouth skater for the puck to go all the way down into the Wildcat zone. Played all along the end boards by Liam Duff to the far side. Here's pressure from Barnstable. A couple of Red Raiders run into each other. And now Barnstable is going to get this puck back. Shovel past the near side. Trying to touch it along there was Nicholas Leone. And it's going to be a turnover to Weymouth in their own zone. Now let's turn back over to Barnstable and played deep by Will Jones. And we're down to almost the last 100 seconds of the second period. Out to neutral. Regained by Barnstable. Pass ahead. Slowed down a little bit on this pass is Jack Longeal. He's going to get eventually to it. Cordero was the passer. Longeal is going to backhand it out in front. Brian Fry catches, shoots. That's off the glass. It'll be retrieved from far side half wall. Sam Howell. And some hitting here. And Weymouth getting it out. Now in their offensive zone, Paul McNiff in pursuit as he had it for a little bit, finishing his check on the end boards by Sam Howell. Brian Fry going back the other way for Barnstable. Fry on the near wing, hasn't been caught yet. Fry holding on. Finally checked gently by Liam Duff. And the rolling tire back out to neutral. Big contact right below us, involving, I can tell you, Howell for Barnstable. Less than a minute to go in the second period. 5-4 Barnstable leads. Chris Cordero pounds it off the near side glass and out back to neutral ice. Now, it's a penalty coming up on Weymouth. There's a Barnstable player on the near side who got interfered with a little bit, it looked like, to cause this penalty to be called against Weymouth. And the 3-for-3 power play for Barnstable is going to go back on here. Penalized player is Liam Duff. Barnstable scored a late goal in the first period. Barnstable wins this face-off. Brian Fry, a little flip pass. Dylan Huntington has a man on him. Huntington able to control, but then he tried to pass, and it was stolen away. And this man's going to try and clear Cunningham, and successful for Weymouth. 7 seconds left. Whistle blows. Down to 6.3. And they're going to get this non-penalty infraction to Barnstable to put the face-off in their zone. Weymouth wins the face-off. I knew I was going to do that eventually. I've been wanting to do it the whole time. All right. Second period's done. 5-4 Barnstable leads. Weymouth with a couple of goals to come back to make this a one-goal game. And Barnstable's going to have 1:39 of power play time to start the third period. This is the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week. Welcome back to the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week, live on Twitch via Twitter. Barnstable versus Weymouth. And here at the Coach Melchiono tournament, this is the consolation game. It is 5-4. Barnstable with the lead over Weymouth through 2 periods of play. Barnstable goals, 3 of them from Chris Cordero. He's got the hat trick. Jack Longio and Brian Fry as well. Weymouth's goals from 4 different guys. Pat McGowan, Jack Doyle, Mike Sweat, and Dylan Tierney. Barnstable with the power play to start off this 3rd period. They played on the power play for 21 seconds in the 2nd period at the end before the buzzer sounded, and the rest carries over here to the final period of play. Weymouth scored the first goal in the first 15 seconds of the game. Barnstable tied it at 1. Weymouth went back up 2-1. Barnstable then made it a 2-2 game and then went up 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, and the last 2 from Weymouth. This has gotten out of the zone on the penalty kill from Weymouth, and now look at this. Connor Higgins has got to make this save. He created his own mess there. Mike Sweat coming in for it, and Higgins trying to play it away. And you know how these things go sometimes on the topic of adventures for goalies. Go out and play the puck, and it can turn into an adventure quickly. But making the recovery there was Higgins. And that's a shorthanded chance for Weymouth. Face-off win for the Wildcats. And a shot is in. Big rebound after that shot came in from Braden Cunningham, but unable to put in on the follow-up there for the Wildcats. And an inauspicious start here for the Barnstable power play in the 3rd period. More good effort here. This will be batted towards the Barnstable net, but job done there in tandem by Brian Fry and Will Martone. And sent back into the Barnstable zone, and once again, a man on the forecheck here is Kevin Coyle. Aggressive penalty killing for the Wildcats. And gets knocked down neutral. It's number 41. I'm sorry, I don't have his name at this point. It might be too late for me to have gotten that. This is Cordero for Barnstable. He's in the offensive zone. Chris Cordero, smooth, right to the front of the net, but the backhander just missed. And with that final chance for the Red Raiders, we're back to even strength. This is Dylan Huntington below the goal line. Dylan Huntington gives to Chris Cordero, who's going to try and run this down with Huntington sitting there on the half wall. Huntington gets pushed off by Marco Padula. There's one Barnstable player heading off for the change. Other 4 guys still involved there. Lugged out through center, and this is going to be offside if Weymouth goes any further with this, and they let them get out of the zone, even though that puck went in on the goaltender, Higgins. That's one of those discretionary items. And this is gotten out of the zone by Weymouth. And we played the first 2.5 minutes of the 3rd period. No score here in the 3rd. 5-4 overall is the score from the first 2 periods of goals. Barnstable, nothing to play for here necessarily as far as getting in to the postseason, but just wanting to finish on a strong note and end a 3-game losing streak. From his canoe there was played along by Will Cogswell on his behind. He played that nicely, but what do we have here? Looks like a penalty coming up on Barnstable. And couldn't see what happened there. Got the blind spot. Even though no student section here today. Do we have a penalty? I'm not 100% sure. No, we do. No, we don't. We do, we don't. It's a line from Mad Next. I live, I die, I live again. I enjoy quoting movies. No power play of any kind. We're still at 5-on-5. Sent into the Weymouth zone by Cooper O'Neill. And this is played out to neutral by Weymouth. And now this is going to be a shot on goal from Kevin Coyle. And the glove save is made by Connor Higgins. I did get confirmation from the Weymouth broadcaster that Kevin Coyle is a cousin of Charlie Coyle, as is one other player on this team, cousin of the NHL Coyle. That's Matt Flaherty. And as I'm talking about this, so what? Penalty just was called on Barnstable. This is on Colby Pearsall, and this is the third power play of the game for Weymouth. Colby Pearsall got 2 minutes for roughing. Through neutral, the Wildcats now into Barnstable ice. Dish to the near side, Mike Sweat, shot on goal, saves made by Connor Higgins. Didn't see any other scores, gave it a look through in the second period, but just the one score that came to attention. East Bridgewater, Mashpee Monomoy 1-1 tie here at the HYCC. This is a, on the power play, an offensive zone face-off win for Weymouth. Liam Duff's wrister from the point. Another glove save for Connor Higgins. And almost 4 minutes played here in the third period. Vacation week for kids in Massachusetts. These players are out there and they're playing the early morning games. They had that one from the Mashpee team before this, and this is an early afternoon game, and then coming up right after this is the Coach Melchiono Showdown Final, Franklin versus Marshfield. Hustled out through center, Mike Sweat. And some trouble penetrating here for Weymouth. Man was able to get it out to neutral for Barnstable Huntington. Brought back into offensive ice by the Wildcats, but that's broken up. And this is Will Martone. They'll get it out and all the way down for Barnstable on the penalty kill. Barnstable presses shorthanded. Escaped by Weymouth. Carried ahead by Pat Dana. Dana, little wraparound. And the net looks like it's budged off a little bit. And then it was pushed wide by Kenny Padula. Weymouth power plays down to the last 5 seconds. There comes a shot. Higgins, a save. Holding from the wrister from Declan Tierney. And we're down to 9 minutes, 38 seconds of the third period. Again, Selection Saturday, just 2 days from today. That's when we'll find out exactly for sure. And I did see a tweet. I'm going to talk about that more in a second here. Wait here, 9.5 minutes now remaining in the third period. Barnstable trying to get it out of their zone. This is passed. And a backhander is taken, missing from a heavily defended Jack Longeal. Chris Cordero in his own zone. Getting it out the center. This is gloved down. And starting from the blue line, Braden Cunningham. He'll pass to the near side. And that one won't go for Ryan Kane. That one, maybe a piece of that gotten by the goaltender Higgins with the glove. And we got a whistle and a stoppage in play here with 8:55 to go in the third period. Reporter for the Cape Cod Enterprise newspaper talking to a couple of Barnstable players before this one. He was here to cover the Mashpee Monomoy game. Said a couple of them said they are of the understanding that there is a possibility, if you can believe this, that it could be Barnstable versus Falmouth in the opening round of the Division I sectionals at Gallo Arena in Bourne. That would be a nutty matchup. And we got a penalty called here. This is a tripping call. And penalties have flowed kind of freely here in this third period. I thought that was a tripping call, wasn't it? I thought that's what I saw. All right. That's number 2 for me. I got push-ups to do for my transgressions. Oh, this is going to go right in on Cole. And unexpectedly having to make a few saves there was Will Padula. We're going to get a stoppage. Got to expect the unexpected. William Padula certainly did his best, keeping the puck out. This is a 5-4 game, remaining a 1-goal game. Barnstable wanting to end their losing streak and end it on a winning note, not just with a draw here. Puck battle for shallow in the Barnstable zone. Now, this is going to be advanced, and it's going to be a shot from Paul McNiff. And once again, it looked like just a sliver of that gotten by the glove of Higgins, the Barnstable goaltender. Back out the neutral. Barnstable trying to engineer a 2-on-1, couldn't get it. Sticks come down for this one. And it'll be passed out of his own zone by Jack Scipione. Hammer back into Barnstable ice, taking hit for it was Liam Duff. Now into the Weymouth zone. Big hit applied by Colby Pearsall on Marco Padula. Well, Barnstable unable to keep it in from that. Now this is rushed ahead by Mike Sweat. Sweat gets around a man and then lost the edge. Good non-call, I think, there. Now back out to neutral. Could this be a 2-on-1 for Barnstable? There's a player going to the net, but this player on the near side couldn't hold on there. Will Jones. And the Wildcats get it back out of their zone. They're not letting Barnstable hang around. This is a man without a stick, and so no threat there for the advancement. Now here's Barnstable. Again, can't keep it in. This is Will Jones. He'll play it ahead, hoping for the connection to Brian Fry. Doesn't get it. Spinning away from him, Braden Cunningham. Now more work to be done for the Wildcats to get it out, and they are successful in that endeavor. One man in on the forecheck, played away from him, and battle for in front of the Barnstable bench, eventually controlled by Chris Cordero. And they'll hurl it onto the near side with less than 6.5 minutes to go in the third period. Jim McCabe here with you on the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week. Live on Twitch via Twitter. Turnover, backhander, save made, and then another chance wouldn't go. Initially there, Cordero, and then a stick got in there on this player who's going to wind up shooting it eventually afterward, Jack Longeal, and the save was made. Loose puck in front of the Weymouth net, and panic moments there for the Wildcats, but they survive it. And this Barnstable player knocks this clearing attempt down. And Weymouth is going to have to expend more energy to get it out. And they do. And this is carried on the far wing in the Barnstable zone. And then disrupted there was Jack Doyle by Sam Howell. Puck comes in from the near side, and that one goes by the Barnstable net from Marco Padula. Barnstable's going to skate this out from Huntington. And getting to him was Matt Flaherty. Now this is taken, and finding the angle there to get it into the Wildcat zone was Jack Scipione, and actually got the shot on goal. Barnstable reorganizes in neutral, but this is a picked off pass. And now this is a man attempting to get it ahead. Kenny Padula, he's getting help. And this is going to man that wrists it wide from Jack Doyle. Less than 5 minutes to go in the third. 5-4 Barnstable leads. Pushed ahead into neutral. Brian Fry gets by his man. Or at least he got separation from him. Now pass to the near wing. And pulling it and then shooting it. That was from Sam Howell. Four minutes and change remaining in the third. Shot from the near point. Save. Weymouth gets it out to neutral. Big attempted check there by Jack Longeal. Didn't go for the contact on Kevin Coyle. Gone a little bit without a whistle now. Played out in front, sits there, barely moving. Players crashing into each other. It's going to be a shot that doesn't go from Mike Sweat. Then they're going to blow a whistle and say it went out of play. Couldn't see. There was a lot of traffic in front. Did Higgins make that save? Or did it go off something else in front? Unsure. And we're down to 3 minutes and 37 seconds in the third period. 5-4 Barnstable leads. Seconds tick off the clock. It's battle for in the far corner, but that is not much puck movement that's going on right now. So this is eventually from behind his net, played along near side by Nicholas Leone. And this is taken back by the Wildcats. It's going to be a backhander that goes low and staying out, taken by Andrew Foley. And cleared by Barnstable. They're trying to weather the storm here. Poked, it turns into an instant 2-on-0. And man can't backhand it out in front. Colby Pearsall passed to him from William Jones. Less than 3 minutes to go in the third period. Andrew Foley drawing a man in, passing it along the near side boards. Big check applied by Colby Pearsall. And another one on Paul McNiff from Nicholas Leone. Weymouth player shovels it out in front. It goes on through and poked. And here's Colby Pearsall. He's got one man to beat. Pearsall, no. Getting him was Andrew Foley in the end. And a penalty coming up late here in the third period. This is on Weymouth. Barnstable controls with the extra skater now in play, but this is going to be touched by Ryan Kane. That's going to get the stoppage with 1:53 to go, and Barnstable will get the power play to try and close this thing out. Let me please quickly tell you about our sponsor for this game, Carpet Barn, Carpet One Floor and Home. The one store for your perfect floor with 3 convenient locations in Falmouth, Mashpee, and Hyannis. Check out exclusive warranty options up to the life of the installation to cover any possible soils or stains. Carpet Barn Carpet One offers a healthier living flooring installation system, the first antimicrobial flooring installation system to keep allergens, dust, mildew, and mold away. Visit carpetbarncarpet1falmouth.com or call 508-296-8189. This penalized player was Andrew Foley. This is the 5th power play of the game for the Barnstable Red Raiders, and the goal here could seal this one away. Chris Cordero passes out in front. Brian Fry's shot won't go. It deflects out of play. And now exactly 100 seconds to go in the third period. Again, this is the final regular season game this season for the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week. Selection Saturday. I'm going to be at Gallo Arena in Bourne, I can tell you that. Who's going to play who? We're going to find out on Saturday, but looks like all the teams that are going to be from the Cape and Islands are going to start there. Brian Fry has a man disrupted at the point, and then finishing a check on him was Matt Flaherty, but Barnstable is going to hold on here. And this is skated through neutral. Dylan Huntington takes a bump. Able to get it into the Weymouth zone. Almost a minute remaining here in the third, and Chris Cordero is going to walk this to his own zone, and absolutely nothing wrong with that. William Martone plays it around the end boards. Grab far side. Jack Scipione, he'll give Dylan Huntington. Lets it go back further. Brian Fry passing to the near side for William Jones, and he'll play it along. And it's caught by Chris Cordero. Back for Jones, and now Fry and Cordero. And Cordero shoots wide of the net. Comes out in front almost. Weymouth running out of time here. Half minute to go. They are no longer able to afford being in just penalty kill mode here. They've got to do something, but Barnstable's keeping a pin in the zone. Weymouth can't get the clear. 20 seconds and less now in the third. Where's the puck? Still down there on the kick plate, far side. Almost 10 seconds left. Out in front, Dylan Huntington, shot that's blocked. Huntington trying to get back to it. Scramble time in front. Chris Cordero, 5 seconds left. Barnstable's going to win this game. 3 seconds left, and they'll end it on the power play, keeping it in the zone. Weymouth never got the clear, and this one ends 5-4 for Barnstable. "5-4 is the final score. The game winner is going to go to Chris Cordero, who had the hat trick. And Barnstable does wind up ending their losing skid to close out this 2019-20 regular season on the winning note. And see if that momentum carries over into the MIAA playoffs. Again, the hat trick for Cordero, player of the game here today. Jack Longiel, Brian Fry also getting goals. 4 goal scorers for Weymouth. No goals were scored here in this third period. All the goals, 9 of them in the first 2. End of the game, 5-4, Barnstable beats Weymouth. This is the Cape Cod High School Hockey Game of the Week. This is Jim McCabe saying so long for now. Thanks so much for being with us on this one, and please stay tuned to my Twitter account, Jim_McCabe_40. I'll let you know about getting on for the MIAA postseason, but we're going to have not only Barnstable, we are also going to be focusing on Falmouth, of course. John Paul II, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket are the teams that are all going to be in, and I'll be on for as many of them as I can, and hoping for one of these teams or multiple of them to make it all the way. Exciting time of the year, and can't wait for the brackets to be released and we find out who these teams are all going to play in the first round. But saying so long for now, signing off from the Hyannis Youth Community Center in Hyannis. Thanks for watching and listening to this one, and bye-bye for now.